Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick video because, silly me, I almost went to bed early tonight. Before I went to sleep, I saw I had an awful lot of tweets from people, which led me to a Reddit thread, which led me to a post on the Guild Wars 2 forums, which was just a hell of a lot of talking about really nothing. A little bit of a, dare I say, shitstorm kicked up over really a non-issue. I feel like I've seen this happen quite a few times over the development of Guild Wars 2, and since I'm kind of in a position to talk about this, I figured I should throw my words out there, let you know what this actually means on my end and how this actually affects anything on YouTube. And hopefully by the end of this video none of you will be worried anymore, because there really is nothing to worry about. So for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, there was a post on the official forums a little while ago where someone had basically made a video of Guild Wars 2, put it online on YouTube, and they tried to monetize the video. This set up a flag with Play NCSoft, and they said basically, no, you cannot monetize this video. The video wasn't pulled or anything, but they were told you cannot monetize this video. You're going to have to take it down, or you're going to have to just take the monetization off. So they went onto the official forums and asked about it, ArenaNet's forums. Not NCSoft, they went onto ArenaNet's forums and asked what's going on, to where they got a response from Gail Gray, who very plainly said, very plainly put it, which is, and everything she said is perfectly true, that there is in the terms and conditions of Guild Wars 2's content that you can't earn money off of their content, right? You can't earn money necessarily off of purely their assets or off of Guild Wars 2, and they don't want that. So that is there in the terms, and that does include, therefore, as a bit of an umbrella, you can't monetize through YouTube Guild Wars 2 stuff necessarily. Now, she put it very plainly, and then she also added at the end that there was some leeway for this to change. But how plainly she wrote it, it kind of kicked off a massive shitstorm, because it does sound quite bad, I'll give you that. There's a massive thread on Reddit with just loads of people talking about it. The words Soper and Pippa have been thrown out a lot about ArenaNet committing suicide with their own game and not valuing how important people on YouTube have been in promoting their game and pushing sales, and oh, look what happened with Minecraft, and so on and so on and so on. And really, it's all over very little. This is kind of very quickly evolved from a simple post about a situation that wasn't even that serious to a hell of a lot of talk about nothing. So first of all, my main point to everyone is nothing has changed. ArenaNet haven't suddenly developed some vendetta where they don't like anyone on YouTube is making money off of Guild Wars 2 because, oh, we're just earning off of them, and now they're trying to shut everyone down. That hasn't happened. This has been in the terms for a very, very long time, certainly at the launch of a game, certainly through the beta of the game, and probably going beyond that even further in. I've heard the figure of a year thrown out, but I think it could have been even earlier than that. And a lot of us have been making content about Guild Wars 2 for way longer than a year ago. It's been there for a very long time, and as you may or may not have noticed, a lot of us have been doing just fine on YouTube. So even though Gail has now made this post, I think this is what's kicked it off. We've got an ArenaNet employee talking quite plainly about it. That's what's kicked it off. Nothing has actually changed, so expect everything to continue as it already has been. And as it has been, that's not been too much of a problem at all. People have just accepted the fact they can't monetize Guild Wars 2 stuff on their own and moved on. Because people aren't actually having their videos pulled. This is the other main thing. This guy monetized his video, but they're not pulling. They're not shutting down anyone's accounts. There aren't going to be people dropping off the face of the internet and giving up, and the community isn't going to get shattered here. Everyone that's doing Guild Wars 2 stuff isn't just suddenly going to go away because ArenaNet are trying to squish us like bugs. That's not happening. That's never happened. The videos that people try and put up that are monetized remain up. They just aren't monetized. So what we're talking about here really is a very small percentage of people that are only willing to put out Guild Wars 2 content if they can earn a pittance off of them in revenue from inbuilt YouTube monetization. So I should explain the difference. There's two ways to earn money on YouTube. The first one is through YouTube itself, through a monetization feature that Google added a short while ago, which means anyone out there, after they've hit a certain threshold of views or they've had their channel for a certain amount of time, they get a feature enabled on their channel which allows them to pick any video they want and put small ads on it, which hopefully they can earn a little bit of money back out of. But the thing with this is, by doing this through YouTube yourself, you also have to take responsibility for all copyright and legal things that go on with that. And in particular, if you are doing gaming videos on a gaming channel, there is the potential for flags to be raised and these copyright clashes to come about. So usually it's not worth it. It's not entirely consistent when these flags are raised. It is more than possible to monetize Guild Wars 2 videos and other small gaming videos without those flags ever arriving. Magical Mike, you might be familiar with from quite a few of the videos on my channel recently, is exactly one of these people. About 50% of the videos he puts up are refused for monetization. The other 50% go through just fine, and very rarely he gets a flag requesting that the video must be taken down. It could be that the policies haven't changed at all, but the systems that detect whether a video is using PlayNC's content, for example, have been refined and now more flags are being raised, but still it remains that most people are slipping by unaffected by these things. So all my arguments here are based on the idea that every single video is flagged, but do bear in mind that's not the case. A lot of them do slip by. The other way to earn money off of YouTube videos is to become a partner, okay? And this is when you go under kind of an umbrella network that exists within YouTube, and those guys handle all of the advertising and so forth on your channel, and they handle all of the legal and copyright stuff too. As it stands, everyone who is partnered on YouTube, which is me, which is other people you might recognise that are doing a lot of Guild Wars 2 stuff at the moment, like Dontaine and some of the other really big channels that just coast from game to game to game, like the Yorkscast or TB. These are all names that have been thrown up constantly in this Reddit thread. All those guys are completely protected, and that kind of stuff won't actually happen. That's the same for any kind of game they produce. This isn't different for Guild Wars 2 and ArenaNet and NCSoft. This is exactly the same across the board. So you're not going to see any big changes there happening. Now, the way YouTube kind of works is people start to create content on it, and when they reach a certain threshold of views per day, networks will approach them and say, hey, do you want to come in and be a partner with us? And 9 times out of 10, those people creating the content are going to say yes. So the people that are monetizing through the inbuilt YouTube functionality were never earning much out of it in the first place, and it was probably just an added extra. So the only people that are really impacted by this are those who are only willing to put out Guild Wars 2 content if they can earn money from it, and the money that they're earning from that is probably going to be very low at the same time, and if they don't get that, then they are completely unwilling to put out any content. And frankly, there are so few of those people, it doesn't really matter. I've heard people coming out with the comment that, oh, this stops people being able to grow into something bigger through Guild Wars 2 because they can't monetize in those early days. Well, no one can monetize to an extent that would sustain a living, for example, and allow them to focus on it full time. No one gets that at all. Most people don't bother monetizing in those early days when you're doing a gaming channel because it's so common to hit these copyright barricades, and it's hard to build an audience in the first place if you have adverts going off constantly all over the place that you're not getting much gains out of anyway. I think most people, I know I certainly, put out hundreds and hundreds of videos without doing any kind of monetization, and that's not me bragging, that's just the normal way that happens. So this really isn't stifling anyone's opportunities either as they go forward. There is the potential to lose people through this, honestly, yes there is, but frankly, I don't care if we lose those people that only want to do it because they want to earn the money, and if they're not going to earn the money, then they wouldn't put out any videos. It doesn't sound like those kinds of personalities are that interested in Guild Wars 2 in the first place, and probably wouldn't be putting out great content anyway. So really, don't worry about that. No one's going to be impacted. Nothing has changed whatsoever. That doesn't, though, I do concede, get around the fact that this does exist for Guild Wars 2, and that's a shame, but the other main thing I would just want to caution everyone is you can feel free to be upset about the fact this exists, but don't be upset at ArenaNet. We have no reason to believe the ArenaNet employees themselves have any problems with people putting out YouTube content at all. It's happening further down the chain. It's happening with NCSoft, their publisher, and yeah, it's annoying that the publisher's doing that, but I also kind of expect that, especially from a publisher like NCSoft. They're the business side. It's in their best interest to make sure their IP is protected, and you can't really question that. So be annoyed, but be annoyed at big horrible NCSoft and all the other big horrible publishers that are out there, which, let's face it, is nothing new to be seen on the internet. Nobody likes the publishers necessarily, and I've got all the respect in the world for NCSoft as a publisher. They were more than lenient with ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2, letting them do the whole when it's ready thing and so forth. I thought they were actually fantastic for that. So this is a blip on them, but it's one to be expected, especially when you draw the full picture and realise that pretty much all the big publishers, any game that has been created because of the backing of a large publisher, probably has the exact same situation. This isn't a new problem. This is something people who are trying to earn off of small gaming videos on YouTube have been struggling with since the feature was very first implemented. There should be no more hate portioned out to ArenaNet and NCSoft than there is anywhere else. There's a reason why people were so happy when Notch stood out with Minecraft and said, no, we owe the success access of our game to this monetization, and specifically does allow that on YouTube. There are exceptions, but it's not the norm. That's basically the crux of the matter. Nothing's changed. We've just kind of had an ArenaNet employee come out and voice the opinion. So there you go, guys. That's from my end. I could be flawed. I might be misunderstanding certain things, but I've been on here for quite a while. That's the way I see it, and I'm one of the people that should be really worried about this, and I'll tell you for a fact I'm not worried in the slightest. So hey, maybe I'll eat my words in a couple of weeks when my channel has been taken down, and then you can all laugh at me then. But until then, I'm gonna have a good night. I hope you guys do too. I'll see you next time.